Mike's Daily Podcast.
Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. Tomorrow is my birthday. Tomorrow I turn 50. Today is episode 1750, 1750, so I think I'm going to call the show 50. I don't even know. I have this thing, I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've never called a show the same name as the previous one. In the past couple of years, I've been really adamant about that.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But there's been a lot going on in my life lately, folks. And I can't talk about it, but
Mike's Daily Podcast.
There's some opportunity, but it would be a big change in stuff. I would probably not get to the show enough, and I would be kind of doing the show a little bit less, and that means the name Mike's Daily Podcast, well, that would be, to my guess, not exactly accurate, but
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I am on, let's see, most of the week anyway. That would be my attempt to
Mike's
do, but
Daily,
as I've said before,
Podcast.
I will never, ever, ever end this show. Because it's a part of me. It's a thing that I do. And when I began podcasting almost 10 years ago, I thought to myself, I love this medium. So we'll see what happens. But I already feel 50, so the birthday tomorrow doesn't really affect me. Look who walked in. I am happy that some friends have decided to stop by here at Café Anyway. Oh, did I mention I'm fasting right now? Yeah, because I got to do my dang, what do you call it? It's for my company. They got to check, you got to, do the fats and all that stuff to see how fat you are. And I got to fast because if you eat anything, it messes with the test. Look who else walked in. So you're not supposed to eat like 8 hours before, or you're not supposed to have any coffee either. And apparently, I haven't eaten for way more than 8 hours now, so we'll see how that goes. Some people have walked in. Now.
Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart.
What the hell was that?
I was trying to do a southern accent, but I can't do one.
Oh. Southern accents are great. Hey, Mississippi's a mess. The lady that said she'd love to attend a hanging with a friend of hers or some crazy thing.
And here's today's podcast picture.
She's in a runoff. She's Republican. She's white. With the Democrat. And they had a debate last night. And apparently she does this Trump thing where she never, ever, ever apologizes. She doubles down. Oh, Basil. She double dumbs. She dumbles down. I hate the double down expression we have used way too much in this post-Trump world. But yeah, she dumbles down and says, I refer to my previous statement, and she wouldn't answer anything up until the debate last night when she goes, I would like to apologize, and I'm sorry. And so she did kind of sound like that. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman. And this is John Deere, the engineer. I thought that accent was pretty good, Chely.
Thank you, John Deere. That's nice of you.
And I was offended.
But if you get offended, that's the way the cookie crumbles. No.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I'm going to try and wrap up this show early today because I got to go to get the test and I want to eat something. What the hell did Trump gets away with things? When he was talking about Mia Love, the politician that didn't want him showing up and campaigning for her, and she lost, and he's like, Mia Love, she didn't show me any love. How does he get away with that? It's like he can walk down to Fifth Avenue and, how does the rest of that go?
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
Oh, it's amazing. Hey, but you know what? Chicken butt. I think also if I make certain changes that I was thinking about, I won't have access to all those Trump sound effects. Or this one. I won't have as many sound effects. there's a friend of mine who posted as soon as Stan Lee passed away, posted a picture with him. And it was one of these things where I guess there was some meet and greet she paid for. And she got to stand next to him. He's sitting on a chair, nice and comfortable. And she walks up next to him and gets her picture taken with her kids. And she posted the picture. Yeah, I met Stan Lee. Yeah, he died. Yeah, I met him. And now he's gone. But the thing is, when you look at that picture, it looks like it could have been a wax figure. I mean, he's smiling. He looks like a nice guy. From all the reports I hear, he was a nice guy. But just... And then a millennial on some show that I listened to the... On Point. What's his name? I used to listen to that show all the time. I forgot the host. I think he's gone. At any rate, on the On Point show, this millennial, the producer kid, the host says, hey, Philip, or whatever his name was. Philip is a huge Stan Lee fan, is a huge comic book fan. What did you want to say, Philip? Yeah, Stan Lee was better than Walt Disney. He was bigger than Walt Disney. Walt Disney is nothing compared to Stan Lee. Stan Lee did a lot more than Walt Disney. Okay, let's take a look at the facts. Walt Disney died in his, frickin' 50s. He died in 66. His empire has lived on and taken over the world. I don't know if you've noticed that. His empire bought Stan Lee. Stan Lee's movies wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Disney. Because Disney took a chance and started the Marvel Studios and did the whole thing. So don't go comparing your Stan Lee to Disney. That's not going to work. Just thought I'd point that out. Not that I'm the biggest Walt Disney champion. The last time I went to Disneyland, it's not going to work.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
I'm going to miss doing all these sound effects. And you're going to hear, I will make mention on the podcast in the future if I don't have the access to the sound effects. I'm going to say that, and it's funny because there's this guy, Greta Bronner's on C-SPAN today. There's a guy I produce a show for, and his producers have come and gone. I guess another one's going to come and go. At any rate, quite possibly. But he gets really upset, and he feels like he's being treated unfairly. And then the new producer has to remember and figure out and get used to where all the sound effects are. And so he gets a little impatient with that, so he'll do his own sound effects. It's just, yeah, I know this is white man first world problems. So who cares about the white man? It's Thanksgiving tomorrow. It's a white man's holiday. I know a guy who's not going to celebrate Thanksgiving because it's all about colonialism and stuff like that. And it's like he's equated it with Columbus. And, he has actually apparently his family never celebrated Thanksgiving because he's part Native American. So, interesting. But I guess I wanted to say, a person called up this radio station that as I go outside a Café Anyway, where I bring you Mike's Daily Podcast, I'm a podcaster guy. I'm so hungry. I want to eat everything. I want to eat. The best day to fast. Isn't this funny? I'm fasting the day before my birthday. I'm fasting before Thanksgiving. I think some people are also fasting, but for different reasons. Because they want to make enough room to eat all that damn turkey. Turkey sound effect. I still have it right here. It's going to go away. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Tony Evers beat Scott Walker in Wisconsin. The governor of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, is going to leave. And I find that fascinating because, gosh, that guy was in there forever, Scott Walker. I thought Wisconsin loved him, but he got beat by a Democrat. That's something to be happy about. My girlfriend, it is so funny when she watches me try to text, because I'm so awful at it. And she'll watch and she'll kind of laugh. But then watching her text is kind of hilarious. Some people text so fast. How are you able to do that? I do speech to text. And that works until my phone is set up so that when Wi-Fi is available, it'll click into the Wi-Fi. But most times, a cell phone can't immediately transfer over to Wi-Fi because there's all these things you got to sign into. So it basically stops the speech to text dead. And I'm still talking, doing my speech to text, and nothing's getting recorded. First world problems. That will be the name of the new show. No, it's going to still be called Mike's Daily Podcast. And my last first world problem is my blender died, which sucks. Not because I make a bunch of pina coladas, but because I love smoothies. So now I've gone from smoothies to parfaits. I've parlayed my smoothies into parfaits. And do I like it? Yes. I love the parfaits as well. And I'm going to eat one in a little bit when I get done with my fasting. Finally, since, oh my God, we've gone over 10 minutes now. Slate, they do a lot of podcasts. And this one they do with these ladies, one of them actually, it was weird because they were on C-SPAN. The C-SPAN has 3 channels now. And they were on the third one at some kind of book festival, this Slate podcast called, and they do it like a culture gab fest. They call it a gab fest, a political gab fest. And they do this one that's it's targeted for women listeners only. And so they were doing this little talk back and forth on C-SPAN, 3 of them. And they are just so overly sensitive. Like they're, oh my God, that, and they do the oh my God thing. So I'm being accurate in this explanation. The New York Times doing that article about Facebook. They were so mean to Sheryl Sandberg. Sheryl Sandberg wrote Lean In. How could they be mean to Sheryl Sandberg? The New York Times is anti-feminist. That was fun to watch that. To watch them. Except one of them looked like my ex-wife. So that was a little odd. But, yeah. Maybe this is why I feel these weird feelings towards the Slate podcast. What's it called? It's called The Wave. It used to be called the Double X Podcast. And I guess they got into issues where people thought, oh, are they doing a porn podcast? So they had to change the name. And my blender died. And I guess that's the end of the show. But I want you to have a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. I'm hoping to be back by... There's a very slim chance I might do a Super Secret Sunday show on Sunday. We'll see. But changes are afoot, my friend. This host will be no longer in his 40s the next time you hear him. You will have eaten Thanksgiving dinner, possibly, or gone through Thanksgiving and had a whole bunch of things happen to you. Let me know what you think of Thanksgiving. And what do you think my big change afoot is coming? Does it have something to do with my foot? We'll find out. But you can call me 336MM Daily. That's 336MM Daily. Also, you can email mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. The website is mikesdailypodcast.com, where you can see all the past podcast pictures. And today's podcast picture, oh, it's going to be a good one. And I want to tell it to you right after Ariel does her thing. Thank you, Ariel.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
All right, I'm going to go with this picture. This picture was from, what was it, 6 years ago? No, it was 2 years ago. Basil and I, we took off some time around my birthday because it was close to Thanksgiving. My birthday always falls around Thanksgiving. It's the earliest you can have Thanksgiving fall on. I think the latest is the 28th of November. But Basil and I went to San Pablo Bay and Point Pinole, and we were walking around there. We did Point Richmond, Point Isabel. We hit all the points around there in the Northern Bays, East Bay situation. And this was a nice little picture as Basil looked out over Point Pinole, and it was raining, just as it's going to rain. Thank you, it's going to rain today. I prayed for rain, and it came. So we're going to get some rain today, and the smoke has already, within the past 24 hours, drastically disappeared. And maybe I'm a little raspy from going through 2.5 weeks of that smoke. That was rough. So now we are back to normal, hopefully, in the Bay Area. And we've got some clouds and some rain. It's going to rain on my little trip to Half Moon Bay, but I don't care. And here's a podcast picture with Basil. And you can see it now at mikesdailypodcast.com. Thank you for listening. Happy birthday to me.